So hey, how's it going? I'm alright. I didn't have a lot of time to explain to you last week the point I was trying to make. I don't even know if you saw that thing last week, my Christmas video. You don't seem to be much in the Christmas spirit this time of year. What's wrong with you? But I didn't want my point to get lost in all of that, or for you to miss it entirely, so I just wanted to take a minute to kind of explain myself. There's clearly a reason that my Christmas didn't turn out how I wanted. There's a reason that all these videos are late. There's a reason that my life is kind of not running on an even keel at this around now lately. There's a reason that I didn't even handle, my sister's passing the way I would have hoped I would have. There's clearly a reason for all of that. And but what hasn't been clear, at least to me, not until recently, and so certainly not to you, is what that reason is. So if you sit down for a few minutes, I'll explain it to you. Do we have a deal?
There we go. That sounds like a deal to me. What do you think, Ben?
So here's how it went down. Back in October, around the time I was finishing up these videos, the first batch, so coincidentally, had a lot more time on my hands, that's when this whole Me Too thing exploded. And in a way, so did I. Kind of. I didn't know what was happening to me either at the time. I was only able to put it together in hindsight after the fact when I had some time to think. At the time, I didn't really know what was going on. All I knew really was that I was agitated all the time. I was just looking to fight with anybody. I was had this whole plan that I was going to make all these new videos and put them out in the new year. I just couldn't get excited about it. I was filming the Christmas videos that you may or may not have seen last week, all at the same time, but I just couldn't get into it. Before long, I figured out that none of it was really working. I just couldn't figure out why. It was easy to blame being 40 and turning 40 and not reacting and handling any of that really well at all. It was easy to blame the fact that I wasn't making a weekly video anymore and I had, all that loss of direction, this big void in the middle of my life. But then if that were the case, then when I decided to make more, why didn't that make a difference? Why couldn't I just didn't want to do it. Why didn't I want to do it? I started losing focus. I couldn't concentrate. I started just fixating on everything, on little things. And every mention of Me Too was just like this little dagger in my fucking chest. And I just couldn't figure out why. I don't know for sure if I have PTSD, but I think I might. I've never been diagnosed. I've never really talked about it much with anybody either. So it's hard to say for sure. I'm not going to argue for or against the likelihood that I have it or I don't have it. But I will say that I have been through some shit. And it's been shit that has given other people PTSD. Sexual assault, a car accident that I don't talk about, a suicide attempt, various other things that I'm not going to get into because it just kind of dilutes my point. But there's also the fact remains that I was thinking about all these things all the time. And, after a bit of that, well, I spend a lot of time here, not sleeping. I spend a lot of time here, not looking at my phone.
Oreo really upped its game while I was in prison. It's like
I spend a lot of time here,
Oh, Amy!
not watching TV.
Oh my gosh! Hi! You're the
So I'll just say this for context, but I was sexually assaulted when I was very young. I was also sexually assaulted when I was a teenager and also as an adult. But it never would have occurred to me at those times. I mean, it didn't cross my mind that I was sexually assaulted, but apparently I was. Hearing all of this graphic detail all the time about, sexual assaults that are occurring over the years in Hollywood and elsewhere, I'm starting to question my judgment on this. So I guess I started to become a part of this whole thing, but at the same time, I started to feel a bit left out. See, I was hearing about all these women and how women were being treated and how women were being assaulted and attacked and sexual harassment things and how we need to stand up for women. We need to be there for women. We need to empower women. We need to support women. We need to, lift women up. Women, 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 women. And then at the same time, Kevin Spacey is quickly relegated to the back pages. Stories like Terry Crews being groped on the red carpet by another man. They disappear faster than you can say, who's Terry Crews? And, I just felt like I needed to say something. And so I did. I thought people should be considering it from a bit more than just a hot topic perspective. Hey, let's not all be hypocrites here. And if you're going to be all about empowerment, equality, and inclusion, and if that's what you want to make happen, then you also need to acknowledge male victims of sexual assault. That was my point. That was it. I thought it was a fair point. I was attacked mercilessly by women and men, by sane and crazy. I was told basically to sit down and shut up, that if I wasn't going to stand up for women, that I should just sit down and shut up, that I had no place here, yeah, I should just go away. And this didn't sit well with me, obviously. And it triggered a few of my Facebook rants. You might have read one or two. It also triggered panic attacks and catatonic episodes where I'd lose an entire hour or more just staring at a wall and not know how I got there. I couldn't see the point of anything. I couldn't see anything but my own agony.
Ugh.
It's got its own sidebar. So, it was around the time when I realized that my Christmas was ruined that a light bulb up here went off. And I think it was one of my Facebook rants that did it, actually. I went and bawled my eyes out after writing one of them and was just like, whoa, get it together. I knew it was wrong, and I knew I was wrong for the way I was handling all of this, but it was just one thing after another all the time. And I was just crumbling and falling apart and freaking out, and I had to do something. I wasn't really absorbing any of this stuff anymore, but it was all still there in my line of sight, and my neurotic tendencies were just feeding off of it. I would just seek it out, even though I knew it would send me into another tailspin. So it was around just before or after Christmas, I can't even remember which anymore, that I decided I had to shut it all down. I had long ago stopped commenting or anything like that, but it was all still there. So I got rid of it. I had these things in my Facebook newsfeed like Rolling Stone, Billboard, Spin, Entertainment Weekly, a whole bunch of other music and entertainment websites that, I kept there in my feed to read about and keep up on, music and entertainment. But no, instead I got a daily panic attack, and them shamelessly inundating and bombarding me with headline after headline of Me Too, Me 3, Me 4, and the more outrageous the headline, the better. So, I did something unheard of.
See, look what have we here behind the wooden gate is my big pile of magazines that I've been collecting over the past quarter century. You have the Entertainment Weeklies are there, and there's a Spin magazine and Rolling Stones down in there. Oh wait, what do we have over here? Behind another wooden gate is even more Entertainment Weeklies and Rolling Stones and Spin magazines, and way down at the bottom down there is more Billboard magazine. I have a lot of Billboard magazines. Wow. I quit for a while when everything went online, but literally a quarter century of paper. That's about it.
So yeah, I did it. They're gone. I severed every last tie with every last one of them. I unliked them. They're gone from my newsfeed. I only get news on Facebook from my friends and some random TV shows now. I tell you, my newsfeed is a lot cleaner, and I get through it a lot faster. I can just focus on living my life and healing my own wounds instead of all this. can you blame me? I mean, it all got to be a bit much for me. All the shouting, all the anger. While I understand that many of the people who were screaming, including the ones that were screaming at me, were in pain themselves. Hurt people, they say. While I get all of that, it doesn't give them the right to upset my life and the path that I'm on. I mean, this in-your-face approach can have hidden repercussions, and I don't think very many people think of that before they start spouting off. Throwing their own pain in other people's faces like that and how it can affect them. I mean, I was doing a bit of that myself. I tried to find some examples of that, but these big entertainment sites, they post so many times a day that, I mean, there's no search in Facebook that could search all of that. And even trying just was a quick reminder for me of why I stopped going to these places in the first place. But I did find one, and she's just one singer, so her page was a lot easier to navigate and scroll. So this is Shirley Manson of Garbage. This is something she said one day about sexual assault and a particular focus on women, if you can see it in capital letters there. She was acknowledging that men get raped too, yes, but please spare us all the tedium of defensiveness in your comments. And it rubbed me the wrong way. This whole thing rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, I was having to deal with these things in public, in general, strange spaces from strange people. It bothered me hearing it from someone I look up to, so I said something right here. And here's some women yelling at me. Yep, and yelling. A couple days later, she posted something else and singled out women again. And she did warn me, at least, I guess. But I went off and off. But look at here. Look at what happened. I got this. She spoke to me. And she said just what I wanted to hear. This is the picture I posted after we kissed and made up. And this, my friends, is how you do being a celebrity. Now this, on the other hand, is not. No, Emma Watson, I'm not even going to get into how stupid and incredibly short-sighted this is, and how it just proves my point, how it's trendy and it's going to be passé in a month, and it's a fake tattoo and she can wipe it right off. Oh, what's a tattoo going to do anyway? How's that going to affect change? Time's up. Where's the apostrophe? And don't even get me started on, Ryan Seacrest and planting him right in the middle of the red carpet at the pre-Oscar show. I mean, really, him? Then? Now? Come on. Or Rose McGowan. I ain't going to be talking about her at all. And see, because this for me is about all of this and all of this stuff and all this protesting. This is about pretty much all it amounts to for me. Yep. That pretty much about sums it up. I know it's satire. See, the issues themselves are generally systemically unchangeable. At least not in one fell swoop, as is usually demanded by the masses. See, the thing I feel that keeps protests from being a true driver of change and empowerment is the fact that most protesters usually don't really have a good grasp on the issue that they're protesting. Nor are their demands usually even realistic. I mean, come on. Change happens in stages. You don't get change now. You don't get it right now. Now. Just because you want it now doesn't mean you get it now. That's just not the way it works. And you're not going to get it done tomorrow. No matter what Annie tells you. Now, what's the answer? I don't know. I don't. But what I do know is that what we're doing isn't working. I mean, things are changing, but really slowly. I mean, when I think about it, I still can't even really grasp how stupid we actually really are as a society. I mean, so basically, I just have to tune it all out. And I do, and I have. And ever since I have done that, I can tell you that my life has improved exponentially. I no longer give a flying fig about politics. I'm no longer a liberal. I'm no longer in anything. I don't care about any of that. And I don't know what the hell's going on in the entertainment world anymore. And I don't care. And I'm just fine with that. maybe people should focus on their own yards a bit more. I really think that if we all did that if we all just focused on our own little circle, like not just ourselves, but the people around us as well, if everyone just did that and tried to just make that better, that it would all get better. Of course it would. But that's not going to happen. But it's an answer at least. And having an answer is half the battle. So why don't we just focus on application and see what happens?
I can't believe someone actually asked this. You've already lost if you have to ask the question.
So what'd you get out of this? I'll tell you what I got out of it. First of all, I got my life back on track. I'm getting it back on track, slowly but surely. I mean, I'm still a work in progress, and I still don't know how the story ends, but I think I'm headed in the right direction at least, Still doing that one foot in front of the other thing, one day at a time. I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm starting to read the news feed a bit more again. I'm starting to learn a bit more about what's going on in your lives again. It's been nice, though, not having any of that entertainment and news and political garbage strewn in there in my feed. Don't get me wrong, I really do hope that something does come of this Me Too and Time's Up stuff. I really do. Just, I myself had to take a step back from it for myself. There are still some of you out there that are kind of politically minded, and so I still do see some things once in a while that trigger me, but it's okay. Don't change anything on my account, not that I thought you would. But there have been some things out there that have set me off. There was one thing just a few days ago that made me so mad that I had to write it down on Facebook, and I had to post it, and it was a big long rant like this, one of those rants that I do, and I wrote it before I went home from work, and I got home from work after I had some time to calm down, and I read it back, and I'm like, that's not me anymore, and I deleted it. Now, I never do that. I'm a firm believer in standing behind what you say, and if you can't stand behind what you say, then you shouldn't say it. I try to live my life that way. I don't delete things. I stand behind them. Anything you've seen on Facebook has been the God's honest truth. I don't hide things. I'm very open. Nothing I've said in this video is nothing I haven't said before on Facebook in a rant or a post or something. But I just saw this and I deleted it. I don't want to be that person anymore. I'm not that person anymore. I saw what I was doing to myself. I was beaten down and broken on the floor, literally and figuratively, so to speak. And I just picked myself up, I dusted myself off, and I started all over again. And that's what I got out of this. I figured out what was important, and it's you. Well, it's me. For you, it's you. And for me, it's me. And I just saw what I was doing, and I said to myself that I can do more than this. I am more than this. So like the tie in there to get more, get bent. So you'll be hearing a bit more of that, and you'll be seeing a lot more of that next week. A lot more. But this was something that was important for me to do this week. It's something I had planned all along. She was supposed to see it. My sister Laura, she helped me a lot with this stuff. I talked a lot about what I was going through and what I have gone through privately with her. She talked about some of the stuff she'd gone through, and she helped me a lot with it. And right up until she passed away. And now that she's gone, I realized that I have to be strong to make up for that loss, in spite of that loss. And that's why I think I will be stronger and more, because I have to be. And really, truly, honestly, I really do think it's time to put all those boogeymen to bed. For good. And for real this time. I'm not joking. Bye-bye. Unless they're a character in my show. Then, all bets are off. Then, if you're a character in my show, all boogeymen are welcome. Just play more of those characters. You'll see.